What's up, people? It's just me, my Corona Chan mask, and apparently this pot I just keep staring and asking questions. I will stir the pot some more. Yeah. I wish I had one of those cool, big ol' ladles. King Lioness 89 asks, yo, what's with the pot? Don't worry, we're not smoking. Yeah, man, we're not smoking pot. The pot is for props, bro. You see, we're not like every other truth-seeking page out there. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning into this Instagram live transmission. I will be letting people join here shortly. We're not like every other truth-seeking page out there. Our methods are a little crude, so people don't really like us. I don't say what everybody else likes to say, and I don't say it, in the right way. So I just sit here with my pot and just stir it. Say, shucks, fuck, man. Why can't it just be, why can't it just be a hoax, bro? I know it's a hoax, but why can't I just leave it there? It's got to be just for the mandatory vaccines, man. No. There's so much more going on here that we have to stir the pot and ask questions. So that's why I have my mask. Thank you, Aura. I'm working on looking cute. That's why I got the pot and mask, because I'm trying to keep myself away from infectious morons. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning into this edition of Factions of Freedom. We will be letting people join, talking about medical martial law, the police state, the economic aspect, the virus itself, coronavirus, and more. There's really no way for me to screen your calls, so this is going to be like a grab bag transmission. I already see that we have people trying to join, and I think Migzio asks how much for the mask. If you want the truth, bro, I got some friends that work in the medical health field, so it was free $99 is the easiest way to say. But everybody else doesn't have those types of connections, so they don't have like boxes of masks and toilet paper and sanitary equipment. So yeah, that's how much. And with that being said, let's start getting people in. We're going to go ahead and get our first person in. It says Soldier of Love. We're going to wait for Soldier to join us. I'm going to try. Oh, she declined after requesting. I don't know if the mask will work. Don't know. We have an entire hour. I don't want to spend too much time asking rhetoric. I want to get you guys on, hear from the people yourself. So go ahead and hit that request button and join. If not, shoot, man, I'll go start the rest of my day. I got no problem. Yeah, there's a little button there on your phone. It just says it, like request. The next request we have comes from UFC 3 Beast. I'm going to go ahead and get you on. See what you think. UFC, tell me, homie, what's on your mind? Think they're connecting.
You all right?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How are you?
Perfect.
Good. Yeah, so I'm from UK myself. Can you hear me?
If you don't mind me asking, because you guys, I saw just the other day that you guys are activating your military in response to this. What are your thoughts on how America's handling this, the coronavirus, and more? The floor is yours.
I'm really scared for America. I'm really, like me. I'm so scared for America. I mean, I don't know. I don't really know anything, but in my eyes, that country's going to go to shit. I think there's going to be civil unrest.
Yeah.
I think everyone's going to cause no offense, like no offense whatsoever. I love American people. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of people over there, to me, seem a bit crazy, especially in times like these. And I mean,
you're not wrong, man. You're definitely not wrong. That's the crazy part, and I think that's what generally every American's kind of feeling is the apprehension, the tension, and the anxiety. So it's not so much the virus itself that people are worried about. I think people are just worried about what other people are going to do.
I mean, the thing is, I think in America, obviously, you're allowed guns over there. It's easy to get a gun. There's gun stores everywhere, but there's something in my head telling me that everyone with these guns is not gonna be good. Even if you can protect yourself, is it worth it going against the government because you're not gonna win? It's impossible. You can't win. I think there'll be more death. I think there'll be more death than, well, there will certainly be more death
I thoroughly agree, bro. I think that's why I remember having on End Time Signs a few years back, and it was like with the Las Vegas mass shooting. I remember asking him, like, what are your thoughts, bro, about all these people getting guns? And he said, well, EJ, it's simple. They want people to kill themselves. They want people to kill each other. So if they promote a state of fear, panic, anxiety, and more, well, it only takes one person getting shot to let people think, okay, it's that time now. It only takes one person, like with Black Friday, it only takes one person to break through the security check line to start that panic, that frenzy, and that hysteria. So you're 1,000% correct, man.
I mean, even panic buying in the UK. I mean, me personally, I still live with my dad and my mum, and my dad's very smart. He doesn't see things the way I'd see him, or maybe you'd see him. He sees them in a different light, but he still doesn't. He's 100% aware of what's going on. Before the panic buying started, we bought over a month's supply worth of food for 4 people. Got a lot of refrigerated meats, obviously, lots of tins. We've got a bread maker to make our own bread. 5 litres of water-based hand sanitizer. So masks, we won't really need them, but you know, got them anyway. Stocked up on a bit of vitamin C, so we're pretty prepared. But I just feel sorry for all the people who just can't afford to do that.
Yeah,
it's like in the UK, the elderly are going into lockdown for 4 months now. I don't know how they're going to cope.
And that's one of my questions, man. You know, I see this talking point getting out there, which is good too. People aren't thinking about the old folks, man. While we're over here like raiding stores, who's informing the old people?
No,
who's going to take care of it?
The thing is, it's not going to change. People are going to panic buy and stock up. I mean, I'm guilty of it myself. I mean, we haven't panic buyed. We bought it over a long period of time since this thing started, you know, and we'll keep adding to it. But you know, I do feel for the elderly. 4 months of isolation, it's going to kill them. It's not good. I mean,
I'm hoping that I want to ask you one more question, and I'll let you go. But I'm hoping that with this crisis, we begin to see more opportunities for people to step up, and I mean by people helping their local person, starting like a business that help old people get groceries. Communal shares, different types of things. I'm trying to reconfigure my mind to see that what happens with this, hopefully some good comes out of it. It can't just be all craziness. But I'm hoping that with what we see going on, some good can happen.
So do I. Yeah.
But just in closing, what are things that you'd like to leave the audience with? Because I want to get somebody else on here and get their opinions on what's going on. What do you want to leave the audience with in closing?
Just be prepared, and I mean, don't be scared of virus. I mean, it is what it is. If you're gonna get infected, you're gonna get infected. It is what it is, but you've just got to be prepared. Like, let's try to prepare as much as you can, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? Just get on with your life. Just deal with it best way possible. So that's how I'd put it. Yeah. And that way, you know, folks putting up all information on your page and that, it does help. It helps a lot. You know, knowing trying to figure out where things are at and stuff like that. But the saying in the UK, Boris Johnson and the government saying they think 55,000 people might be infected, and they're saying at best 20,000 people will die. So I mean, it is what it is, isn't it? But it's gonna have to get on with it.
Yeah, it's a tricky situation, man. You know, I definitely hear you.
Yeah,
You don't want to seem like you're too apathetic towards it, but you also don't want to seem like you're not paying it attention or giving it like the
yeah,
appropriate
of
severity that it
course.
deserves. So I hear you, brother. But thank
Yeah,
you for joining me. I'm going to get
yeah.
somebody else
Thanks for
on.
letting me in. Yeah,
And
see you later. Good luck.
yeah. Oh, thank you, brother. Thank you. So there we go. Thank you, UFC 3 Beast. I think we've actually had him on in the past. But yeah, you know, about people who try to send more requests, you know, my stance stays the same. You don't want to marginalize this, but at the same time, you don't want to overhype it. It's a definite balancing act, trying to get your head around it. You know, you don't want to say, oh, it's cool that 100,000 people die because this happens, or oh, we could get our deaths down to 10,000 if we could take care of these drastic actions. You want to say that, but at the same time, you want to bring attention to what's going on with this. So it's a very, very interesting subject, very, very sticky, which is why we are taking your requests to join. Seems like our next person. Ooh, wow, we have a few. Wow, okay. Let's get Truth Speaker Preacher. I like that name. Truth Speaker Preacher. Let's see if we can get you on. Give us your thoughts on the coronavirus and more.
How you
What's going
doing?
on, man?
How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Doing well.
I like your
How you
name,
hanging
Truth
up?
Speaker Preacher.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, my friend? Where are you, if you don't mind me asking, where are you from, and what would you like to talk about?
So I'm from. I live in Deerfield, Illinois. It's a suburb of Chicago.
Okay.
You know, here's my kind of thoughts on it. We should be aware of what's going on. We should be aware of kind of the things the government's doing. You know, but I think that the most important thing is that we focus on God, and that
Yes.
we know that any fear that is not fear of God is not from God. It's from the devil. And the devil is trying to make us all panicky, and also it's, you know, I mean, we should be aware, right? We should be a healthy, aware, you know, not too apathetic, like you just said, not too, you know, not too on edge, but just the most important thing is that, you know, we know that we need to stand up and speak the truth in these times and not be afraid, because, you know, the government is going to make it look, the liberal government especially, is going to make it look like, you know, people who speak the truth are bad people, but we shouldn't be afraid. You know, God is still in control. God is still watching us, watching over us. And we need to know that. And, you know, I know for me right now, like, I don't know what's going to happen. I know a lot of people are saying this is the beginning of the end times or whatnot, but, you know, for me, this event puts a lot of things in perspective.
Yes,
For
sir.
me, this puts, you know, what's really important: family, God, love, you know, and I think we need to know that. And if we know that, nothing can touch us. And, you know, if we're going to, if it's going down, it's going down. And, you know, if you know where you're going, you're not afraid of anything. If you know that you're saved by the Lord Jesus Christ, you don't fear where you're going next. But
Amen.
yeah,
Amen.
so that's just
Let
kind
me
of my
ask,
thought.
let me ask you a question real quick.
Sure.
Truth Speaker Preacher, I'm not sure how long you've been doing this work, but would you say that having like a strong faith, situations like this, that they test your belief, not only in what's going on spiritually, politically, but also internally? Would you say that events like this, they kind of refine your faith because you feel like you're being tested? Should I freak out? Should I worry? No. You should find the quiet place of the Most High, and you should really get residence up there and begin to learn that discernment, find the truth. Yes, pay attention to everything that's going on, be informed, but at the same time, have that filtration process, learn what you're actually supposed to be learning. Would you say that having a deep faith, situations like this, that it tests it?
For some people, for me, you know, I've learned to personally, like, you know, there's things that I don't understand when I read the Bible and I'm learning about God. I'm like, I don't know why God did this, and I don't know why God chooses to do this or that, but I know one thing, that his will is perfect, even if I don't understand it. And classic God is taking evil and turning it for good.
Yes.
That's what God,
yes.
right? So the government could be planning all kinds of weird things and stuff like that. But, you know, if we know that he could use this situation to kind of gear up more people to go and speak the gospel and speak the truth, we're facing our own death. We don't know what could happen. And I'm not really afraid of the virus, to be honest. I'm being cautious because I don't know for sure, right? I'm not a scientist, but, you know, it just puts things in perspective for me that, you know, we need to just not be afraid and just do what we need to do to spread the truth, even if we might be persecuted for doing that.
We're not given a spirit of fear, bro.
But of love and of power and a sound mind. Yeah. 2 Timothy 1:7. Yep. So we need to just, it just puts that in perspective for me. Like I'm literally not afraid to die. Like if a cop comes right now and like says you're under arrest for speaking the gospel, like I'm not afraid. You know, what can flesh do to me? Nothing. Do not fear, you know, somebody who can kill just your body, but fear God who can kill your body and your soul.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I hear you, brother. We'll have to have you back on. We'll have to have you back on another edition, because I feel like this is definitely Veritas that people need. But just to wrap this up, what do you want to let people know? Final thoughts. What do you want to leave the audience with?
I want to say, get as close to God as possible. Seek him every day and every moment. Get in your word, read the word, pray about everything. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be brought unto you. And, you know, we're not guaranteed a perfect life because we follow God, but we are guaranteed, you know, to walk with him and do his will for his glory. And that is how we live a great life. And, you know, so we need to know that and go towards that 100%. And I think things will fall into place as his will is to be. So
I want to thank you for joining us, brother. And I definitely hope we have you back on soon.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me, man.
Stay safe out there.
All right, you too.
There he goes. Truth speaker, preacher. Yeah. People don't, I talk about this all the time, how our bodies are actual temples, but because we refer to them as just these meat sacks, just flesh, we don't really do it like divine purpose or divine justice. This is why I'm trying to say regenerate, not degenerate. Recognize that there is divinity within humans, instead of just attributing us to be beasts. But because, you know, we deal with a lot of nihilists, apathetic people, atheists, and people who believe there is no God, they don't want to recognize the spiritual aspect to them. It's very unfortunate. So, yes, I know people don't want to hear that type of stuff, but it is important that you recognize your deeper spiritual component. So let's get into the next call. I got to get you in here, Miguel. We're going to get Migs Yo on here, and then we're going to get another caller in. But I just want to hear what Migs has to say, because we chat all the time, we talk all the time, and I want to hear his opinion on what's going on.
Salutations.
Salutations, Miguel. How are you, bro?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, man, I'm busy. How are you?
Kind of nervous right now. First time speaking like this publicly.
Well, hopefully it's not the last.
Right. Yeah. People think I'm crazy a lot about things I say, you know. I'll start off with the virus, right?
Floor is yours, my man.
Yeah, we know that an agenda is being pushed. You know, the mandatory vaccination, martial law, all that stuff that's going on. And the thing with Hollywood, the thing about certain people being caught up being pedophiles and all that, I think that's just another cover up. Because honestly, like everyone in Hollywood, all the celebrities, they're all Satanists, right? That's how they got power. And I mean, the government or whoever's in charge right now is trying to get the upper hand and all that, since they have all this information and resources, as opposed to us. I mean, we just follow like all the things that people put up on the internet, and we just critically analyze it and all that. But I mean, as we do that too, they use that information against us. So it's kind of hard, like, speaking your mind nowadays or having an opinion that doesn't go what other people think. And just to affirm what the guy said before, I think Yeshua is salvation. We do need to read the Bible every day, pray as much as we can. I mean, I grew up Catholic, ended up being atheist, agnostic, New Age spirituality. I've like involved in all that. I thought it was true. It was all just lies, you know. And I just ended up finding the truth, the true word of God. And that has helped me a lot with my own personal problems, you know, like stuff that a lot of people probably deal with now, with like addiction, depression, all these things that people have for trying to find solutions to, like.
Let me ask you a quick question, if I can, Miguel.
Okay.
I haven't asked you this before, but let me ask you one more question. You know, and I think everybody kind of has this question deep down. Why do you think they're trying to deny God? Why do you think they're trying to remove the spiritual factor from modern society? Why are we being told to embrace information instead of knowledge and wisdom? Why are they trying to remove God from society?
That's a good question. Ooh.
Sorry, bro.
Part of it has to do with finding out the truth. Our true self. Like you said, we are a temple. We are like God's most divine creatures, and we should be examples of what He tries to teach us, not what the devil's trying to do, which is try to go against His word, and basically bring our value down, have us think that we're useless, to try to find this false like leader, which basically be, you know, Satan, the devil, the government,
the Antichrist,
the elite. Right, yeah, and the thing that they want us to like find more information because they're controlling the information, right? Brainwashing, censoring, and all that. Yeah, that's all I got to say for now.
Oh man, it's true. It's true. I want to get a few more people into the chat. But what do you want to leave the audience with? Because I know we're going to have you back on in the future.
Right. Just keep faith in God. Don't let these little things get to you. Our boats may be rocked, you know, but I mean, it all depends how we balance it out. Yeah.
I agree. But I want to say thank you for joining, Miguel, and I'll definitely talk to you soon, brother.
Have a good one.
You too, man. Oh, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, real talk. I know people don't understand it, and I talk about it a lot. I was Christian, Taoist, Buddhist, agnostic, theosophic, New Age occultist, and then I found myself back over here to Christianity, and it's definitely something very, very real. And I talked about it more so recently. People try to take your faith from you, and all it really does is refine you in a different way. I'll put it to you guys this way. If I decided to listen to everybody that was faithless and was godless, I wouldn't be here before you today. You don't do what I do from an atheistic point of view. You do this because you care about people. But we are going to be getting in our next guest. I want to mix it up. Let's mix it up. Let's get Serenity. What is that? Either Serenity the artist or, yeah, let's go ahead and just get Serenity the artist in here. Oh, says she's unable to join. I think she might have left. Okay. Still trying to figure out how all this stuff works. Wham blam. Oh my God. Who's that? Fidel? Who's that? Fidel? Oh man, you guys got to give me a second. Sorry. Fidel T. Rodriguez. Let's get Fidel in. If not, we are going to get a few people, another person in, and then I'll just fly through some comments and some topics. But we are waiting for Fidel to join us.
What's going on, young man?
A whole lot, my friend. How are you?
I'm blessed, man. I'm about to do my sprints. So I'm in training, brother. Mind, body, spirit.
Coronavirus not stopping your gains?
Hey, I'm connected to God, brother.
There you go.
I am God.
I love that this is like the theme of just like transmission. I'm just picking like random people, and it seems like we're all just like giving glory to God. So thank you.
It is, man.
For joining us.
Absolutely.
What would you like to let the audience know?
Hey, brother. You know, so I'm 51 years old, right? Been in the rabbit hole, so to speak, many times in Africa and South America, and been able to experience some amazing spiritual epiphanies, right? And I've followed you for a long time. I was on the radio for 20 years here in LA,
Nice.
decolonizing minds through commercial radio of all things, right? Clear Channel, now is iHeart, but I'm inspired by you. I'm inspired by all the young people that got consciousness, right? So as we see that we're in a crisis right now, we have to look at it as an opportunity to raise our consciousness.
Yes.
That's what this is about, right? The earth is crying out, right? We've been destroying her for so long. There is obviously an agenda happening, but how you react or how you respond to that agenda is key, right?
Yes.
So if you ever talked about, or people are into meditation or yoga, or want to figure out anything about mindfulness, now is the time. You need to get that emit from the fight and flight response to the relaxation response where you're in the present moment. Because right now, the only moment that exists for me right now, it's not even running, it's talking to you. That's where I'm at.
Being
That's
present.
the matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's Jesus, the Buddha, Yahweh, Ifa, Orumila, whatever it is, God is the same. And believe me, I I have good information and experiences to let you know that we are all one being.
Yes.
And the more we raise our consciousness and the more we develop our inner selves, that is going to change the planet. Regardless of the agenda that's happening, what's happening is we're being forced to look within ourselves to heal ourselves from all the traumas, all the historical traumas we've been through, into the present place of love. That is key.
I
You
agree.
cannot seek love from a person, a girlfriend, your parents. You have to seek it from yourself. And when you do, and you're in that present moment, then you can develop civilization. That's my message.
No, I agree 1,000%. Fidel, what I was talking about this morning, what we're seeing right now, and I said this last week, the crisis or this chaos that we're seeing right now, all this is doing is bringing the best out of us. You're either seeing people fall away on the wayside, or you're seeing people kind of double down in their mission. You're seeing people tighten up. You're seeing them get a little bit more focused. You're seeing the discernment. You're seeing them step into who the world needs from them, instead of people saying, oh, maybe I should retreat. Maybe I should. No. See, the world doesn't need more fear. The world needs more strength. It needs more courage. It needs more love. It needs more compassion. It needs more humanity. But because people, again, I don't know if you were in the first part when I was talking about it, people not being equipped emotionally, mentally, or spiritually to react to this type of stuff, that's what I'm talking about. This is a test. This provides for us a situation to react, provide solutions, and come out on top. What we're seeing right now, I say it all the time, it's the socioeconomic reformation, the old world order kind of collapsing and the new world order creating. If we're aware of these things, we're aware of CBD oil, the benefits of natural medicine, and so much more, why are we not taking a hand in fixing these things? It's because we're fearful, we're scared, we're letting other people tell us that's hocus pocus, there's no science, this, that, and the third. We understand these things. We understand the solutions. But we're too busy listening to alternative people who want to stay stuck in that old paradigm instead of creating something new. So this provides for us, if you ask me, that situation or that scenario, that event that allows for us to become better people. So I agree 1,000% with what you're saying, my friend.
I love it, man. And listen, man, continue to do what you're doing. You know, I like I said, I mentor a lot of young people. I work with young people that are incarcerated, which no one's thinking about what's happening to them during this whole mess, right? But just continue to do what you're doing, brother. Stick with God and you're going to be good. Promote love. The information's good. You know, I know it can be overwhelming to some, and you probably kind of like me, we see in between the lines, and it's very revealing. There's signs and symbols all around us. Just look at the 5G networks all around us, okay? That's another, anyways, another topic, man. Continue to do what you're doing. I look forward to continue hearing the conversation. May God continue to bless you. May your ancestors continue to bless you. And I look forward to hearing more from you. Respect.
Thank you. Thank you, Fidel. I hope you come back on again, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Be well.
There he goes. That was delightful. There he goes. Fidel. Wow. Powerful. And that's what we do it for. So people understand that, like, I trip out sometimes when I say I don't see my reinforcements, the people that are doing this type of work, but then I realize, like, I was Fidel's reinforcements, and that's how this works. You do the work until the other people come there. And we just have to make sure that we build something enough, some kind of buffer, some kind of foundation for the next generation of truth seekers or the next generation of activists that generally care. You see, so we can't shy off, we can't bliss out, we can't turn off. We have to do the work for those that come after us. So thank you, Fidel, for joining. Wow, we are having some very, very powerful, very, very powerful guests join us. Wow. Okay. Let's see if we can get Pamela. What does it say? Pamela Fictal? We're going to get our next guest on, Pamela. It seems like we're talking about God in the midst of the coronavirus, the necessity for spirituality during an outbreak such as this. We're waiting for our next guest to join us. If not, we'll get another one. That's what I mean by this this type of transmission being like a grab bag. People can kind of join in. We don't really know where the conversation is going to go, but it's actually important that we have these kind of conversations, because I have a whole show lined up here for people, but you know, it's important that we get the word from the people on what they want to talk about and where their hearts and minds are. So we have not heard back from Pamela. Sorry, we're going to let you go. We will be taking our next guest. I think Her Resilient Consciousness. She sent me a message earlier this week. Let's see if we can get her on to ask herself, and we'll get your guys' response. But hello. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, let me get this. There we go.
Hello.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
It's good to connect.
Thank you for joining. Where are you calling in from, and what would you like to talk about?
I'm calling in from Puerto Rico.
Oh, wow.
And yes, lockdown started 2 days ago. From 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. and with the usual exceptions of emergencies, etc. But yes, we recuperated after the hurricanes pretty good, but still the infrastructure is not that competent for what is needed. Unfortunately, I have to admit it. So I don't know, like what you've been saying earlier about 5G being tied to this, I am right there with you and with many other people that I believe that this is a real virus. Yes, the best way to bring control or to take control of the people is to mix truth with the lies. That's the best way of confusing the people. And that is what's happening. The virus, I think it's real, but so is 5G. And the Hong Kong protests went down, Chile protests went down, Puerto Rico protests. We were really, really on our feet with the protests that were happening in here. And suddenly this big monster called coronavirus has taken care for a better lack of words, of all these global things that were happening from the side of us, the people. We were rising, we were getting a good grip on global uprising, and suddenly coronavirus.
So what, if you don't mind me, I have two questions for you. The lockdown going on in Puerto Rico, but also, do you think that this virus is a test to see how committed to revolution, change, the future, stopping the New World Order? Do you think the virus itself is a test for us? And then after that, I'll ask the question about Puerto Rico on lockdown more.
Most definitely. This is one of the best ways for social experiments to gain information on the people who are the dissenters, who are the leaders. who are the ones that are willing to follow, who have morale. It doesn't matter what happens, who are the ones who keep the morale and who can transmit that morale to other people so that we don't disintegrate. Besides having food, water, medicine like antibiotics, even though I have my different views on that, but that's different.
I understand entirely.
Even though we may have that, or that a house may be full of that, if we don't have morale, if we don't have faith in us, faith in each other, that we will pull through this and we will come out stronger on the other side, we will crumble. So it's really, besides being a biological weapon, because is this a biological weapon? This is a psychological operation. If you break down the morale of the people, you break the people.
Yes. So if you don't mind me, again, because I agree with everything you're saying, if you don't mind me, again, we just had on multiple callers talking about the necessity of spirituality through this. Would you say that's within the same alignment with morality? Do you think having a faith, being grounded, being connected not only with God but the earth, and understanding humanity, would you say that is important during this time period as well?
Most definitely. And just because, and as we could see in the chat, spirituality / religion, even though they're two different things, they can stir up a lot of difficult emotions and uncomfortable feelings in a lot of people. So we are already in a state of a distorted reality and in a state of panic for those who have been infected with the panic virus.
There you go.
If we add in spirituality and religion, and we add fighting to that, because we cannot decide on a single spirituality to base our faith on. Like I try to like get away from those topics, just because I don't want to offend anyone, and everyone has their path. And just like you shared with us earlier, you have walked a varied path, and that I respect that. There have been people that have walked no path. I have to respect that too. They are alive, and it's their life force, their life that I can see now that matters and that must be treasured. It doesn't matter if he or she is poor or rich or whatnot. Spirituality right now, the faith that we must have is that we will pull through this in us, and that have faith in love. If you want to have faith in something that you cannot really touch, but it's still divine, love, unconditional love. Love is always the answer, like how they say, love. Yes. Let that be everyone's spirituality. Love is our religion, like Bob Marley would say.
It's true. It's true. Have faith and love, as some of the people are saying in the comments. I have one question, and I'll let you go. What are solutions that you would recommend for people during this time frame, during like a lockdown? I mean, you're in Puerto Rico. There's already a lockdown. Are you guys kind of seeing panic, or are you seeing like a calm, a relative calm or ease? Like, what are solutions for people during this time frame, if you don't mind me asking?
It's a little bit of both. Like we would say, you have two sides of the coin. There's people that are suffering from what you said earlier, arrogant ignorance. And I think we can see that everywhere, but there's a weird sense of calm. It's almost inexplicable. It's like a false peace. You can feel the air is dense. You can feel the people are almost like paralyzed, but still prepared. We're prepared. Like a lot of people prepare with food, with water, etc. The hospital system is the one that, the hospital system, like infrastructure wise, the hospital system, that's the thing that is not okay. Yeah. But mentally, I'm a hermit. I try to like stay to myself a lot. Like I barely, even without being on lockdown, I lock myself down.
I understand entirely, man.
It's like the usual. I think what's being in Puerto Rico right now, what's happening mentally and emotionally, it's the same as pretty much everywhere else.
Mm-hmm. Just people don't want to accept it, but they're having this reluctance to say, okay, I guess this is what we're doing now. Is that kind of it?
Yes, and it's also a shock because the thing is, we have always been like, I would sometimes talk to my family and certain friends about martial law, and they wouldn't even know the terminology, not even in Spanish. And then I would start talking about what is martial law and the consequences, and like cite movies like V for Vendetta or books like Humans Bow Down or Fahrenheit 451 is also a great one. And they would just be like, no, that only happens in movies and books, and that only happened in history. It's like, oh, if we don't know our history, it will repeat itself again.
We're doomed to repeat it, and I feel like that's where we're going. They realized that everything that happened in the past, putting troops on the street, that terrified people. They had to figure out a way to get us to voluntarily call for our rights to be taken. Best way to do that: introduce an invisible foe named coronavirus. So I like where your head's at. I'm definitely going to have you back on. What do you want to leave the audience with? In closing, what do you want to leave the audience with?
Most definitely, and thank you, Noisera, for having me. For the audience, serenity. Become poised. That's the word. Just be that serene beam in this storm, because this is a storm that will last for months. Yeah. So be serene. And if you live by yourself or you're a hermit like me, pile up books, pile up information, meditate, breath work. That's, I think that's the best thing. That's what I've been doing. And it's really been helping me. Breath work.
I've been listening to binaural beats for the past few weeks, and I feel like there's no way that I would be able to focus with all this information coming out if I wasn't able to bliss out and just be like, okay, what's going on? So I love where your head's at.
Beautiful. Binaural and 432 hertz, which I think a lot of us are a fan of 432 hertz in here. So awesomeness for you and for all of you. Thank you again for having me, and thank you to all of you.
Thank you for coming on. I hope to have you on again.
Most definitely. Take care, Noisera.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone.
There you go. There's her resilient consciousness. I love these call-in episodes because they are so important. So many different things going on there. Lockdown in Puerto Rico. I think what's crazy too is post the hurricanes, there was reports that came out that all the water that was shipped there got stored in a storage place. They just never delivered it to the people. And so what her resilient consciousness was talking about is, the failing infrastructure is a real thing, and there are going to be consequences to it. But that's why we mentally and emotionally have to begin to prepare ourselves for what's coming down the line. So fantastic calls, period, man. This is why we need to do this more often and set aside the time. Wow. Let's see. Who do we have next in this contest, in this College of Ideas? Let's get on to Cynthia Vanessa 25. See if she can join us, get her thoughts on the coronavirus, religion, music therapy, and so much more. All kinds of different things being discussed in this transmission. Cynthia, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for accepting the request. I've never done this before, so.
Oh, shucks. You're about to blow either my mind or other people's minds. Is that your daughter?
That's my daughter right here.
Oh, hey there. Hey, how are you?
That's Camille.
Hi, Camille. I'm EJ. Nice to meet you, Camille.
Nice to meet you, too.
Oh, your mommy's about to make history. Did you know that?
Oh, goodness. Don't say that. You make me nervous.
I'm nervous. Everybody loves you.
Oh, thank you. I love you.
She seems like a sweetheart.
Oh, my goodness. Yes. So there's been a lot going on these days. I was freaking out for the first, when everything broke out here in the United States. we live in the East Coast, in Connecticut to be exact. And, I have two little ones, and that's all I can think about, my babies. I believe in the Great Awakening. These past days, I've been trying to stay conscious for a very long time, but these past days, it's like the veil has dropped for me. There's so many things. I believe this coronavirus also is a cover-up for many things. I'm not saying that it's fake. There's obviously a disease going around, a pandemic, that we don't have to underestimate. I've been preparing, buying food and buying water.
Good.
That's something I want to emphasize. It's important. It's important. We don't know what's ahead. We're living day to day, and it's important to store, even though they're telling you, don't worry about food or this. It just eases your mind knowing that you have a little extra to last a couple days.
Let me get your opinion on that. I feel like it's crazy because we post about storable foods, My Patriot Supply, their delivery window increasing. We post about storable foods and getting prepared for situations like this. And it seems like there's a skepticism, there's a hesitation. People seem like it's a bad thing for wanting to make sure that your checklist is done. What are your thoughts on that they're trying to demonize the idea of preparing or being self-sufficient?
I mean, I think here a lot of people, I was asking a lot of my friends, are you buying food? Are you storing water? And they were kind of like, oh, what? No, like stores are never going to close, or the government's never going to let us run out of food.
The government would never do that.
They would never do that.
The government would never do that.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's a lot of people that have never been outside of this, perfect reality, that American type of mentality. I think if you've traveled to third world countries or, been outside the country and seen different places, you can definitely know that things will go down, that, worst case scenarios, the best thing to do is be prepared, have some medicine. I think especially people with, kids need to be prepared, I feel like a lot of things are about to go down. I think this is just, like the edge, like it's just the surface of what's about to go down. I want to tell everybody here that, if you're a parent, take care of the children. There's a lot of things going on with children. A lot of things are being exposed.
And a lot of kids are dying because they're robbing kids.
They are.
Yes, correct.
A lot of cowards out there.
Growing up, you should be aware and teach your kids that you have to stay always aware and do not let your kids go anywhere.
You're right, Camille. Stranger danger. You're very right.
Yeah, they have to stay with the parents. I am kind of new to this whole, I've been kind of, researching maybe for 6 months now about the pedophile rings and human trafficking. And it's not something that I'm completely, unaware of, but going more in depth with it, it's very obvious,
Yes.
It's very obvious. And where do all the missing people go? Where do all the missing kids go? It breaks my heart.
So everything you're saying is on point. I wanted to ask your opinion, on America experiencing this crisis. Does this? I don't want to say it's a good thing because it's crazy, but us experiencing this crisis, does it show how unprepared we are, how in a haze we are, how confused we are? I don't want to sound like a crazy person, but this virus, like I said before, it's pulling us together. It's showing how thin things really are.
Right.
So
I believe this virus is exposing a lot of things.
Yes.
A lot of hidden things.
Yes.
And that is also a blessing. You sometimes, maybe in the future, we will look back as today and be like, connect the dots and say, oh, well, this outbreak or virus, whatever, brought out to light this, and this. And I believe that everything happens for a reason. I'm a big believer of that.
Yes.
I was in panic. I couldn't sleep. I was feeling a lot of energy, these past days, but all of a sudden I got I'm a big believer on energies, and you know, if there's so much fear out in the world, what I can do on my part, because I can control nothing else, is just staying calm and believing that everything is going to work itself out. Just be prepared, you know, that believing that everything is going to work itself out doesn't mean not to be prepared and to just let go completely of, you know, what you can control. What you can control, do that, you know, store water, store some food, especially if you have kids, like I said. You know, I read a lot of articles saying that it's gonna get ugly before it gets pretty, and I believe that. I just want to emphasize, just watch the kids, never let them out of sight. Right now we just got a silver alert for a 4-year-old missing in our town. It's, you know, it breaks my heart. I believe also I got the sense of serenity the past days. Since yesterday, I've just been feeling a little more calm, knowing that, you know, if you do good, if you stay true to your beliefs, if you love the people that are in your life, and you do good in general, I feel like you don't have to worry, you know.
I agree.
I feel that, honestly, if anything were to happen at any point, I would be more than willing to, you know, give up my life for my little ones, and knowing that in this lifetime I have done everything I can to stand for the truth, to stand for the people I love. It's just, I never thought, you know, when I was little, like you were saying.
You didn't think you'd see all this.
No, I didn't. And
you thought you had more time.
Correct. My parents were Catholics, were Christians, Mormons. So like you, I can identify with, you know, going and hearing a lot of theories about, you know, Catholics call it
just real quick, people are I just want to inject real quick. People are really, really loving your message. They want to know what your social media handle is. If you could just go ahead and tell them.
Sure. It's Cynthia_Vanessa 293.
Okay.
You know, it's just something I've been hearing it my whole life, and it's here, you know.
Yes.
The Great Awakening, it's here, and we don't need to be afraid. We just need to be good, you know. If we've been doing something wrong in our lives until today, it's not too late yet. It's not too late. We need to love. I think love is the key for everything. Don't feed into the fear, the hysteria. That's only going to bring our vibration low. We have the chance now to be with, you know, to appreciate life now that we are in a big threat, not only nationally but globally. This is the time to appreciate everything that you have in your life, as little or as big as you have. You know, if you have a bed, if you have a roof over your head, if you have some food in the fridge,
you're blessed.
If you're with the people that you love, that's all it matters. And this is what comes down to. This is what life is about. And appreciate it, because you know, we've been taking it for granted all this time, and this is a time to definitely wake up and think of everything that's been happening, everything that we've been doing in our lives, and it's never ever too late to change.
I agree. I definitely agree. I wanted to ask you what your final words were, but it seems like you've already stated them. Did you and Cynthia, or did you and Camille have something you wanted to leave the audience with?
Well, to me, the coronavirus, most of the people don't believe in it, but I believe in it 100%. I'm trying to protect my brother as long as I can. I'm trying to, like, do something for him. I'm trying
to love him, right?
I'm trying to, but my brother just keeps playing on with his cards. He's like, nothing's happening.
Yeah, he's
life.
A baby. He's 2 years
Nothing's
old.
happening because you're taking care of him, Camille. Don't worry. Nothing's happening because you're taking care of him.
Yeah, definitely. And definitely, you know, like you were saying, God is one energy, and that is the love energy. That is the joy, the hope, and all the positive things that you can feel. Don't be, you know, a lot of people are very afraid because they've done something wrong. They feel guilty. Don't let the guilt stop you from searching.
Yes.
Don't
Yes.
let the guilt stop you from searching the truth, you know. Just because you've done something wrong in the past, none of us are perfect. Just because we've done something wrong doesn't mean that we are not deserving of something good, of something of the greatness. And I think that's going to push us through. And you know, I want to just tell everybody watching that we're going to get through this. It's going to pass. We just need to stay united and bring all of our kindness out. You know, whatever chance you get, any words of encouragement, any actions, any, you know, anything that you can do to bring your light out into the world, especially in these dark moments, is so necessary. And it's going to help us through. Thank you for the opportunity to talk.
Cynthia, I think you've already helped us enough. I think after this live, you're going to get flooded with all kinds of requests. So I want to say thank you so much for bringing your light, bringing your love. You as well, Camille. Thank you. Thank you, beautiful ladies, for bringing your love here.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me the chance to say what I've been keeping in my heart and trying to put out in the world all this time, for giving me a little bit of chance to just the platform to say what I think and feel.
Well, thank you for sharing it.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, ladies. Have a great day.
You too.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, go ahead and follow Cynthia Vanessa. It seems like a decent amount of people are going to be going her way. People were over here asking her Instagram throughout the entire time she was talking. I'll be sure to put that in the description bar below if you guys want to follow her and every other great guest that we've had so far. This has been a powerful transmission. I'm not really sure how much time we have. I wanted to try to pull somebody else on with the time that we have, but I'm not sure how much we have. I know we have a little bit less than 10 minutes, 5 if that. And so I don't want to cut people short on their time. But what I think I might do, because we're having such a blast doing this, I think what we'll do again next week, if you guys are down, we'll have a 2-hour transmission. You know, we'll get people on, we'll ask their thoughts, their opinions about the coronavirus, about the police state, medical martial law, lockdowns, all these other things. What we'll do next week is what we're doing this week. We'll have another open discussion, wargaming the coronavirus and more. These types of discussions I feel like are necessary to get other people's opinions. To be honest, sometimes I kind of hate hearing my voice, and I really do appreciate other people coming on, leaving your comments in the description bar below, joining our lives and having these type of discussions. I'm working on a way to get like phone calls in. That way if people want to call in, they don't want to join on their phone, they can just call in, they can do so. I'm working on doing that, but the interest has to be there. And it seems like people are very interested in this type of format. So unfortunately, I have to cut this short because we have a page to run, right? Cynthia Vanessa 25, if you guys want to get access to her, Cynthia Vanessa 25, I'll be sure to put that, as well as, again, every other guest that we had in the description bar below. Sorry, I was reading this comment right here from John Baruch. Says, I'm from China. I just want to tell you, you can heal yourself. Stay strong. We are just starting to panic. So yeah, fantastic transmission, fantastic guests, fantastic content. I think everybody needs to understand that there's more to this virus than just the disease. But as we've been kind of alluding to with the guests and the people that we've been having on, there is good that can come from this. And I am glad that we're beginning to turn that corner, because as things are kind of dark and dire, it's also important that we realize the sunshine and the rain, that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, that this is not the end all be all, that where we are is temporary. And I'm glad that's the kind of general consensus we got from our listenership today. But like I said, ladies and gentlemen, that's how I really have for you guys and gals. I'll catch you again next week. Hopefully things settle down by then. We have a little bit more clarity. And as all of our guests have said, I wish you some serenity, some peace of mind, some spiritual solitude. However, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I really have for you guys and gals. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. I'll have it in the description bar below. And as always, guys and gals, stay vigilant, expose lies, and share truth. This is Noisera, Freedom Faction, out.